Once again, really, really straight. Big old beefy cast iron grill right here. That's way nice. Let's climb up on this one. Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing a little bit of auctioning today. I enjoy coming out and seeing all these stuff that they have for sale, and it seems like you guys enjoy these videos as well. So they've got a lot of cool tractors. So I thought I'd bring you along. Okay, the first of these is a little Massey Ferguson 50, which isn't a super, I don't know, it's not a super exciting tractor for me. However, this little diesel is about the same vintage as that Model 95 that I showed a couple of weeks ago. This one's got a little 4-cylinder diesel engine, it looks like, and good running little tractors. Not too bad. It doesn't look like it's too beat up. Got a little 3-point hitch on it. I think this would be a really pretty tractor. All painted up. It's not too bad. Now, sitting over right next to the little Model 50 is this big old Minneapolis Moline G1000. This has got like a 500, I think it's just over 500 cubic inches between these 6 cylinders. Massive engine. Puts out about 100 horsepower. This was, in my mind, definitely a muscle tractor back in its day. It's very similar, I think, also. It's a little bit newer, but it's very similar also to that Model 95 Massey Ferguson that I showed a couple weeks ago that I already mentioned. Really nice, big old tractor. Not too beat up at all. We got the doors right here and all the glass for the cab. Real nice heavy duty 3-point hitch. Look at the size of that clevis. Dual PTO, so that's 540, and that's probably 1,000. Drawbar, not too worn, but real nice old tractor. Next to it is this little Minneapolis Moline, another one, much older. I think this is a Z. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Another really nice tractor, not beat up. My favorite thing about the Minneapolis Molines are these grills and the radiator with the MM cast on the front of them. Not bad. Here's your 4-cylinder gas engine. Looks like this is some sort of lift or hydraulic pump. Oh yeah, here's the, there we go, serial number 0065002846. Very straight. I'll bet this would start right up. And this is hydraulic pump right here. It looks like this has live power. Yep, so you got a hydraulic pump right here that probably runs off of the crankshaft, maybe a camshaft. And then you got these pressure lines that go into your valve body right here. I think it's pretty advanced for the 50s. So actually something that's pretty cool, and one reason why I kind of like Minneapolis Molines, even though I don't know much about them. As a kid, I remember my dad, we were doing a construction project. I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 12. And we were doing a construction project, building a home. And there was this is back in Kansas, when we lived in Kansas. And there was an old farmhouse next door that had an older woman that lived there. Her husband had died, so she was a widow. And in her garage next to the house, I remember one time driving past and the garage door had rolled up, and inside of this old wooden garage that was pretty beat up, there was a beautifully painted old Minneapolis Moline tractor. And that was kind of the first time that I remember seeing that, you know, that bright yellow orange color. And it's like, you know how it just kind of welds in your mind, something like that. Anyway, a little bit of background story, but back to the stuff here. Next to it, we've got the another Minneapolis Moline Model Z. Very, very similar. This one, serial number 1061025. Looks like the fender's been trimmed on this. I wonder if it got in. Maybe they had some sort of loader or something on it, because the other one is trimmed the same way. I wondered if maybe this got into the tire at one point, but looks like that was an intentional cut. Obviously an older restoration that's now been sitting outside for a while. But same deal, we got a hydraulic pump. This one has only one hydraulic line going in here, and if I remember correctly, the other one had two hydraulic lines. Maybe not. So you got a hand clutch right here, or a foot, nope, that's not a foot clutch, that's just a foot rest. Same with over there, and there's your brakes. But back how I had it. It is tall, 38-inch rims, I'm assuming, 13.6 by 38. Really good tires on there. And right here next to it, we've got a Massey Harris 44, but this one has the diesel engine and a really wide front. Man, look at how complicated all of this on the side of. So you've got your injection pump. There's your starter. Your injection pump goes up here, feeds your injectors right here, all 4 cylinders. That's probably a governor of some sort. Nope. Then you got a hydraulic pump right here. So you probably have live power, or at least live hydraulics. Then right here, these are probably your filters, a pre-filter. Then you got maybe this isn't a filter. That one says Fram on it, so I'm assuming that's a filter. Pretty cool. Cast wheel centers. They're not the pressed steel ones. They've got some beef to them too, on both sides. And here's you got a 3-point hitch. I'm assuming there's a lift cylinder that's externally mounted someplace. Right here, right staring at me right here. So that actuates this rocker arm. Really nice. Obviously it's an older restoration, but once again, really pretty clean. And then over here we have a Cockshutt. Same as an Oliver, from what I understand. And when I saw this on the auction listing, I saw it from far away and I thought, oh, that's way, way cool. But it has a gas engine. I was hoping that it would have the diesel. But it does have a 6-cylinder gas engine. little bit low on oil. Once again, really, really straight. Big old beefy cast iron grill right here. That's way nice. Let's climb up on this one. A little bit of rust. But see, that's not too bad though, because you can weld that up and then just drill another hole over here someplace. No 3-point hitch. So it's a Wheatland. You got one set of hydraulics right here. And there's your PTO. Let's climb up on here. So there's your two, you have your dual range transmission, kind of where you have your top H pattern and then you shift down into the second quadrant, and then there's your lower bottom. But it also seems to have this hydro drive, probably similar to like the torque amplifier system that Farmall had. Anyway, man, all of these tractors are in really, really good shape. And this one looks like it's never been repainted. That looks all original. Non-adjustable front axle. Here's the serial tag right here. Serial number 182682468. Made up in Toronto. Well, Brantford, which is near Toronto, up in Canada. Right next to it, we've got a David Brown 990. My uncle ran a David Brown, I think it was an 1100, a little bit bigger than this. It still had a 4-cylinder diesel engine, just like this. And it wasn't quite this new. It was still a David Brown. This is a David Brown, it says case also. So it was right when the two were merging, I think. But that was always a fun tractor. I remember the way it sounded coming out and visiting my grandparents on the dairy farm and seeing my uncle scrape corrals with an old David Brown. And I remember to lift the round bales on the back. He had a big 55-gallon barrel drum filled with concrete that he would mount on the back as ballast. Anyway, good old David Brown. Not too beat up again. It is missing the grill. Oh, and it looks like this plate, this right here, has been pushed in and really messed up the nose right there. But with the loader on it, you don't really notice too bad. Now, next to it, we've got, this looks like a little John Deere Model B. We've got, Model B, serial number 194575. Obviously missing a bunch of stuff here up the top. And I think they're selling this tractor, that, and then a couple of other tractors as parts tractors all together in one lot. But not too bad. Oh, it does have, we'll go back and we'll look at the 3-point hitch. I'm sure that the engine is frozen on this. Right here, all the water is just going to go straight down the carburetor and dump into the engine. So I can't really spin the flywheel because it does have that cover on it right here, but guarantee that engine's frozen. This is a parts machine at this point. That's pretty nice. And then next to it, is this a Massey Harris? No, this is a Ford 9N that's painted yellow. I recognize those back tires. And then the little flathead 4-cylinder Ford engine right there. Squeeze by here. It's in the weeds a little bit. This is pretty cool. Oh wow. Looks like that rear rim has definitely seen some better days. This one's not too bad though. Pretty clean. And then right here next to it is a little H Farmall, probably. I don't think it's as big as an M. The serial tag will tell us. Yep, it's a Model H. FBH27170. Pretty nice. Next to it, we got the Model A. Narrow front. This is the split pedestal that I've talked about previously. These split pedestals are pretty nice to have if you want to put a wide front on your tractor. Personally, I really like the single front tire, and mine at home has a 16-inch rim. This has just the little 10-inch rim, I think. I can't see the tire size on this, but once again, I'm sure the engine's frozen. Carburetor's here. They busted off the bottom of the carburetor. It does have a generator on it still. No wheels. Doesn't look like it's the has the extended axles. The axles on mine come out an additional 6 inches on either side. These are just the standard width axles. This is an older one, probably a 1944-ish year is what I would guess, because it has the long hood and then the battery under the front. Let's see what the serial on this is. Looks, oh man, that's hard to read. It's all corroded. Yeah, definitely a parts machine though. Next to it, we've got a Massey Ferguson 135. A little bit newer than that 50, probably a little bit more powerful. This is definitely an orchard model because it's so short and squatty. These tires, 18.4 by 16.1. A little short, guys. It's also got a gasoline engine, but it's in pretty good shape. Well, the auction listing had a couple of other tractors that were tucked away. They must be inside these buildings because I'm not seeing them here. But definitely going to follow this. I don't think I can bid on anything because I don't need anything. But it's always fun to see what stuff goes for, like I've said before. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you next week with another video.